Hey, Jimmy with Cuff and Stuff. Well, let me ask a question. Have you ever cooked a brisket and had a bunch of brisket left over and tried to decide what to do with it? Well, today we're going to do one. We're going to use leftover brisket, but I've looked on YouTube and I haven't seen this recipe anywhere. This is brisket, shrimp, and sausage gumbo. Man, this thing is good. All right, the thing that shies people away from gumbo is the roux. And we're gonna start with the roux. This is easily done. Just have a little patience and go through it the way we're gonna do it. It works out great. Let me tell you, this is a great recipe. You need to try it. It is delicious. So, hang tight. Okay, well, we're gonna need for our roux equal parts of some type of high temp oil. This is olive oil, that'll work, and flour. And this is just regular all-purpose flour. So let's dump the oil in. And the first thing we need to do is get the oil hot. So we're gonna turn it up. We've got our oil warmed up a little bit, and we're just going to start slowly but surely dumping our flour in. And you see this is going to start immediately to cook. And let me give you some good advice on making roux. The best rule of thumb I can give you is never, ever, until it's finished, walk away from your roux, because it will burn, and if you burn your roux, you're gonna have to clean your pot and start all over. And so you want to keep this moving, keep stirring it, because what's going to happen is this flour is going to want to go to the bottom. And as soon as it goes to the bottom, it starts to thicken up on the bottom and cook. And even though we want it to cook and brown, we don't want it to stick on the bottom, because that's going to make it burn. All right, we're going to stir and stir and stir. I've turned the heat down to medium and maybe a medium low. Depends on what your stove does, but you can see just this fast that chalk white flour is starting to brown. Okay, well, look how dark we get. This is chocolate brown here, and it's thickening up. Now, how thick you let this roux get is up to you. Low and slow, patience is the word. All right. So, here's what's next. We're going to put our onions. That's just two more or less medium onions. We're going to stir into it. Celery. We're going to put our celery in. Bell peppers. If you were from Louisiana, you'd call this the Holy Trinity. Oh my goodness. We're gonna stir that in good. Now, a lot of people don't do this in their gumbo. I always do. I have taken, and you saw me chop up a couple of jalapenos. I've taken the insides out, and it's just the outside skin for the most part. And I'm gonna dump them in, and let's stir them in. And oh my goodness, this is where the flavors and the smells really start. So we're gonna let this, we're gonna keep stirring, of course,
And we're gonna let these veggies soften up just a little bit. And let me get that done and I'll bring you right back. All right, we got our vegetables in. They're starting to soften up last. And usually with vegetables, when I'm putting it in, my minced garlic, and yeah, I'm cheating. This is already prepared for me. I'm gonna stir it in. I don't want to burn that garlic, so I always put it in last. You ought to be here to smell this stuff. This is just good stuff. Look how thick that is. I'm gonna dump in, this is 2 links of andouille sausage. Love some andouille sausage. And you can't make gumbo without andouille. So we're gonna put some andouille in the pot, stir him up. Okay, well, I don't even have the sausage browned up good. And look how full my pot is. So, I'm gonna fix that. I got a little bit anxious and I wanted to try to use this pot, but it just isn't big enough. So, let's bring all of this into this bigger pot, because I want to have plenty of room and I don't want to have to leave out anything in my gumbo. So there we go. Now comes the fun part. I'm gonna add our brisket. Now, I cooked this brisket last weekend. Everybody had a fit over it. It had such a good smoke flavor. I did it in a stick burner. And I'm gonna throw, I don't know, a couple of 3 pounds of chopped up brisket into the pot. What the heck? There we go. All right, stir this up in the mix. And now, this is when I am going to crank the heat up. Now, this isn't high. This is a medium high. Why am I doing that? I'll tell you. Because I'm going to use chicken broth. And that piece of one was a little bit cold, so it's going to take my temp down and I'm going to bring it back. But you see, I basically covered everything in liquid. All right, I'm going to throw in a couple of bay leaves. I'm going to throw in about that much parsley flakes. And I don't know why, I just seem to like it. And I like it in this. This is a little bit of rosemary. I'm gonna throw it in there just for flavor. And I'm gonna let this start to cook. Now, this is gonna have to simmer for a while. And when I say a while, I mean an hour and a half. So, let me tell you, with that smoked, seasoned brisket, I've got thick meat, I've got smoked bomb, and I've got South Texas red that have gone into this gumbo because that's what was on the brisket.
So that's what's gone into my pot. Hope you can see I've got this to a good rolling boil. I'm gonna let this roll for about 2 or 3 minutes, and that serves a purpose. That's gonna thicken all of this up. I'm gonna throw in a couple of pounds of South Carolina shrimp. This is straight off the boat. Am I gonna do anything to it? Yes, I am. This is where I'm gonna add a generous covering of Uncle Steve's Shake. This is Gator Shake. And all I'm gonna do is just mix it in, make sure that I get it all over this, and I'm gonna dump it in while it's boiling. Stir this in, and at this point, this is where I'm gonna turn it down on simmer. When I get it where I want it, I'll bring you back. But there it is. That is shrimp, brisket, and sausage gumbo. Okay, well, the gumbo is ready. We let it go about an hour and a half or so. Man, does it smell good. I see the sausage, the shrimp, the brisket. You gotta have a nice little helping of rice on the side. Well, only one thing to do. Let's try it. See if I can get some shrimp and sausage and a little of that brisket on here all at the same time with that rice. Here it is. Let's try it. Hold on. Can't make up my mind with one bite. Let's try another one. Oh my goodness. That is some kind of good. Folks, if you want a good cold weather meal, you got brisket left over, try this. Oh my gosh. The shrimp, the sausage, and the brisket together is just unreal. As always, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, hit the circle on this side. We'll have another video for you over here. Until next time, hang tight.